Yeah, that's that. So, mate, yeah, I mean, I listen to podcasts as well. As soon as I get up in the morning, it's kind of one of the things that I do.
Yeah,
Just getting straight into work, man. I mean, you can find pretty much everything that you want to learn about. Um,
yeah,
so, anyway, man, it's cool. It's really cool to sit down with you and have a conversation with you, Genis. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, man, and it's cool to finally sort of to pencil in some time in the calendar and just find out a little about you. So thanks for sitting down. I know it's the morning. You just woke up. You just had a
yeah, man.
coffee.
I just got have a quick coffee and we're ready to start. It's a pleasure to be here, buddy. I love
Yeah,
this.
man.
I love this
Awesome.
podcast, man. It's so great.
Yeah, man. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's got a cool. I was telling you briefly about how it started and sort of getting an audience behind it, and just sort of building a community of people who are interested in how the craft is
Yeah,
all how it starts for everybody, because I think everyone's got a unique story, and I think it's important to sort of share that stuff. It's cool.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, man, if you want to kick off, I know you're in Ibiza. It's
Not
it's not.
anymore.
No. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
there we
bro.
go. Where are you?
It's like
Tell me.
I'm moving like one time a year. It's crazy, but that's my yeah the life I'm living is like that. We always with my wife. We always been since we met because we met the same year I started the brand. We moved like 8 times. It's crazy, but
Wow.
I think that's what I love to do. Just being moving because every time I move, it's like the vibes are changing. So I do new things and different things. So that's what I'm always
Yeah.
changing my workshop. Now, more or less, I got the workshop of my dreams, which is like a big workspace. It seems like
Yeah.
I call this like the WhyHats temple, because yeah, it's like for me, it's like a church, which is it's so big. So
It sounds like a church in there. It sounds you can
yeah, I
hear
have like
it's a big space.
a lot of echo. It's great.
Awesome, man.
So
Well, whereabouts are you? Whereabouts in the world are you?
we are now in Valencia, Spain,
You're
which
awesome.
is like because yeah, on I think in Ibiza was my better experience was in Ibiza, but as you may know, when you're in an island, there are some things that you couldn't find.
Yeah.
So we were like, where should we go? And yeah, we decided Valencia, which is super near to Ibiza. It's like 30 minutes flight. And it's also super near from my hometown in Barcelona. It's near to Madrid.
Mm.
So it's a
Yep.
good location.
Oh, my family actually is Spanish. They're from the northern part of Spain, Asturias.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
Man, food there is fucking crazy.
oh man, it's beautiful there. It
It's,
was
it's awesome.
it's beautiful. Like it's cold in winter time, and it's really hot in summertime. It's got the
Yeah.
beaches there. It's beautiful.
No,
Really
but it's good,
beautiful.
man. It's good. So, um, yeah, what were you asking?
I mean, so you're in Valencia. You've been there for a little while now. You've set up shop. How did you find the traveling aspect for with your brand? Has it always been sort of packing up and moving? Is it a new audience? Is it a new crowd? Or are you just situated in places that you know already?
Um, I think it's a very. I'm always moving, not like yeah. As I told you, I've been moving my workshop a few times, but the way of life I live is like always moving for business or just for hanging out. But I
Yeah,
think that's a way to you know to more people for you to discover you.
yeah,
So that's my yeah, that's my way of business. Like always, that's where I'm always traveling to the US and doing an event or doing some meetings, some appointments in each city. That's the way I work. And
yeah.
also I'm always trying to find a better place for the social media, because as you may know, I post a lot of reels, so I need a good place to record that shit.
For sure, for sure. Do you want to tell me a little bit how you got into the hat making craft, and what is WhyHats to you? What's the brand, and how did it originate?
Yeah, sure. So I created WhyHats 6 years ago. I was I'm 27 now. I was 21, and it was the first time that I moved to Ibiza, but just to work. I have a lot of friends there, so I moved there to have like a summer work. That's all. But I always hadn't. Yeah, I always been in love with hats. Always was wearing like these kind of hats, not exactly the good ones. Like the cheap ones you can find in any Zara or in any regular shop. So I was trying to find that kind of hats. And here in Spain, you can find it in some hat shops, but they are super expensive. Like a wool Stetson hat, which is gonna be like $100. Here, it's gonna be 400.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for the
Right.
for the 21-year-old kid, that's not
Didn't make
affordable.
sense.
Yeah. So in Ibiza, I was working there, and I met a guy called Curro Coronel. I don't know if you know it. You know that
I
guy?
don't know him. No.
So it's crazy because he makes like kind of a pirate hats with. You can even tell what shape is doing. It's so crazy. So
Yeah.
we became friends, and then I was like, dude, I didn't know that you can make hats with just your hands. And he was like, yeah. He
Yeah.
was like a super. I always say he's like a pirate, because his
Yeah.
way of life, his style, it's everything. It's burned and dirty. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So I think I took a little bit of his style to create white hats. So then I was like, dude, but I want this kind of hats. And he was like, no, I don't do that. I don't do fedoras or cowboy hats. I just do distress shit. But it's
Yeah.
crazy, man, because you can even tell what style is he doing. Like
It's
they're like
unique to him. It's very,
super,
very unique, huh?
yeah, super soft felt, small brims, and everything is burned with holes. And he like put everything he finds on the hats.
Yeah.
So it's cool because he has his own style. You can, maybe you like it, maybe you're not, but he has his own
Yeah.
style. So
Yeah.
yeah, after I came back, well, a few months later, I met my actual wife in Ibiza, and we moved together to Madrid. And I was like, babe, I think I want to start making, just trying to do this shit. And well, as you may know, it's super hard to find everything, even if nobody tells you. So I was
Mm.
like, how the fuck I find the materials and all that stuff. And on that time, I was not I was not working, so I didn't have much money. Probably, honestly, I had like 300 bucks in my pocket on the time we lived together. And my wife
Yeah.
was not in a good situation, money situation. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna spend 200 in a few shit. So I found like cheap felts without stiffness on it. So I was like, how the fuck do I, you know what I mean? Like, how the fuck do
Yeah.
I make this hat harder and all that stuff that you don't know when you start? Yeah, so I get like a wood block, but it was round, so I was not understanding why is it round, because it was made to that that block was made to do like this kind of, I don't know how you say in English, that big hats that women wear for weddings and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So yeah, it was made for
For
that.
like, yeah, right. Like the big fascinator racing hats and stuff like that.
Yeah. So yeah, but then I started, and I started to find the good felts over the world. I was just checking every week on Google, spending a lot of hours there searching for wood hat blocks, a brim cutter, and all that stuff. And finally, I found a few ones that works. And yeah, that's how I started.
And so was it literally just it was it the drive for you just to go, fuck man, I gotta start somewhere. Did you go to University of YouTube? Did you ask friends? Did you ask your friend that you met over there? Or was it
No,
just
no,
dive
no,
in?
no, because he didn't want to tell me shit. And
Yeah.
I asked a few ones, and they didn't tell me a shit. So I was like, okay, I have to find this by
Yeah.
myself. because on that
Yeah.
time I was like super obsessed. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do
Yep.
this, and I don't know how, but I'm gonna find everything I need to do this.
Epic.
So yeah, I just started with the things I found. Then I was learning. Oh, okay, you have wool felt, rabbit felt, beaver
Yep.
felt, blah blah blah. And but yeah, it's always like when you are obsessed with something, you will find the solution of how to do it.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
like
still remember do you still remember the first ones that you made?
I got the first one. You want me
Oh,
to
you've
show
got it.
you?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So as I told you, this was with no idea of how to make hats. This is the first one I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I
Yeah.
told you,
Cool,
this is
man.
like a soft felt hat, and you can see it's round because
Yeah.
of the wood
Yeah.
hat block. I didn't have an idea, but man, I really love this hat because it was the first one ever, and it's the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, because this hat looks like the like a hat from the guy I met in Ibiza. This is the
Oh,
kind of
yeah. Okay.
style,
Cool.
and
It's very kind of like vagabond kind of traveler hat.
exactly that's his
Very.
style.
Yeah.
So that's what I did with no idea, but I was like, okay, this is not what I want. I want this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just trying and trying and yeah, learning by
That's
myself.
it. I really wish I kept my first one that I made. I actually, my story, if you don't know that, it was an old girlfriend had given me a hat for a birthday present, and it was a black wide brim hat, cowboy kind of style, and I'd never worn anything like that before. And we split up and broke up. So I cut it and burnt it and ripped it all to pieces and threw it in the ocean and ran over it on my motorbike and sewed it all back together. And I was wearing it down the beach in Bondi where I live, and someone asked me where I got it from, and I told them that whole story, and they asked if I would make one for them. So it was
Wow.
kind of like a really kind of random situation how I started. But then long story short, I had that hat and I gave it to another girlfriend, and I've lost it now.
Whoa. That's awesome, man.
So yeah, I don't know. It's floating around in the universe somewhere. I'd love to see it now.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I mean, I know, like, yeah, everyone, I will not say every hatter, like, every artist has a crazy story of how they started.
Yeah,
Yet, one thing that I really like is I really appreciate those friends who at the beginning was like, okay, make me one, I pay for that. And I was like,
yeah,
okay. I was like scared because I know
yeah.
that it was not the perfect hat, but they love it. They love it, and they still wearing those hats. Every time I see one of the first hats I made, I'm like, fuck, dude.
It's really it's a special thing. Hey, when you actually when you've made something with your hands and you see somebody walking down the street wearing it, even a friend, sometimes they mean like that's
Yeah,
shit or that's good and they love it, and you're like that's amazing.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. When they see
it's
they are loving it, and they
yeah.
it's like I always compare hats. When did you ever wear a cowboy boots?
Never, never.
Okay, so I always say like when you are wearing cowboy boots, you walk different.
Yeah,
You got you have like a different kind of vibe. So I think with the hats are the same because every time I see some I see some people who are like very um they don't talk a lot. They are like very so when they wear a hat, they are like another person.
it's true, man. It's true. It's I kind of feel like a lot of people who I've made hats for are kind of like in that space. They're kind of they've always wanted a hat. They've never had something that's custom, but when they wear that one, it's kind of like bang, instantly a different kind of vibe. They show it off. They wear it more.
Yeah,
It's interesting, man. It's kind of like a costume in a way.
yeah, and I think nowadays, yeah, not all the people are. Some people are afraid to wear something on the head. So
Yeah,
those people who are like, this is gonna be my first hat, they are like, man, really good, like you, because everyone is gonna look at you. I
yeah,
mean, I don't know,
yeah.
maybe not in the U.S. or I don't know in Australia. You are in Australia, right?
In Australia, yeah,
But here in Spain, it's like crazy.
yeah.
They look like they.
It's
I don't know. They look to you crazy.
Well, I mean, you've got a very specific style too, right? So it's very, very kind of like rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's it's very rustic, and so it stands out a lot. Is that what's the background behind that? Is that kind of I mean, you're a musician too, right? I've seen you play. You play in
Yeah,
a
I
band
mean,
before?
before making hats, I have like some like regular jobs, but all my life I've been playing. That was my first job. I still playing
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, now my main job is the hat. So yeah, yeah, like music is, yeah, I think it's what it's back of my brand and inspiration. First of all, it's music.
the music draws their inspiration. Rock and roll specifically.
I like a lot of music. Just depends on the day. Like yesterday, I was, for example, listening to new metal.
Yeah,
Sometimes I listen to hip hop music. Then it's just like I like most all kind of music.
yeah.
Yeah, if it's good music,
And
I will like it
I kind of feel. I mean, do you listen to music when you make hats
every time. Yeah,
every time?
yeah,
It's kind of. I get in the zone too. Sometimes I listen to heavy metal. Heavy metal's my number one. But then sometimes you just go into like a jazz kind of theme, and it's just kind of like a different kind of creative mindset. It's
exactly. And
strange.
also,
Yeah,
when I'm stressed, I don't. I'm not gonna listen to heavy metal.
yeah,
When I'm like a little bit like with some adrenaline on me, like probably in morning, I'm more like heavy metal or yeah, or heartbeats or whatever. But then
yeah,
probably afternoon, night, I go more for chill music, like or
yeah,
even lo-fi. You know what? I love lo-fi. I didn't know about that kind of music. And lo-fi music, it's like music to study, and it's crazy.
yeah.
But you get
It's
into the yeah, you get into what you're making.
you definitely get in the zone. There's some great sort of 3 or 4 hour long clips on YouTube with lo-fi that just sort of goes off and off and off, and by the time you know it's the 4 hours have passed, and you're just like, fuck, where's the
True.
time gone?
Yeah, yeah,
It's cool.
absolutely. But yeah, like my first like yeah, the main inspiration is music. Like I don't know if you saw it, but the next collection we are gonna drop, it's called Hair and Soul. So this is a song from Mink DeBeal, is like a singer from the 80s. He was like
Yep.
kind of a dandy. He used to wear a lot of hats, and well, he always
Awesome.
was wearing like a dandy. So I've been I've been thinking about the new collection for a long time, but I didn't find the inspiration of how to make it. I was like, how I'm gonna call this collection, and what is gonna be inspired on. So this is a sad story, but I would like to tell you. So I lost my father 2 weeks ago. He died for cancer. He been fighting on cancer for 2 years, and he died 2 weeks ago. I didn't publish on Instagram because I don't think people have to know that shit.
I
But
agree.
yeah, the one of the last posts I made, I say something like relation on that. So we're gonna call this new collection like Hair and Soul, because it was a song that me and my father used to listen a lot, and also it's gonna be a collection inspired of on the ones who we lost, but they still
Yeah, man.
on our hearts. So that's
Man.
yeah.
Well, it sounds like you have something that's very it's something close to you. I think when you have a project that's very special, and I'm sorry to hear about your loss, man. But I think when you have something that's so emotional inside you, then you put a lot more effort and heart into it. Um, do you have do you kind of have it in your mind what the vision will be, or is it kind of just going to be something that'll sort of just morph on the fly?
Um. So first of all, yeah, I think from every emotion you can get inspiration. Like when you're
Yeah,
happy, you're happy. When you're sad, like musicians been doing that shit for
yeah,
the entire life. I mean,
yeah,
like probably 90% of the songs are talking about love. Yeah. So yeah, the thing is that every hat, it will be probably 6 hat collection, and
Yep.
every hat will have a name of a few important persons for me that already
Yeah.
died. So will be my father. Another one will be the singer, Willie DeVille, who is actually, yeah, he died on the 20s, I think. Yeah. And then it's crazy, man, because some people saw that post and start writing me like, dude, I have this crazy story of me or my daughter who died, and I have this association. It's crazy how many
Mm.
people write me about telling
Yeah.
me their stories. So yeah, I got these 2 hats that I think about it, but then I think I'm gonna take a few stories of those people, and I'm gonna do
Yeah.
a hat. So each hat will have a name of that.
Epic, man. Epic.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, I find it. Do you do a lot of your work? Is it mostly custom stuff that you're creating for people?
90% of it. Yeah. Because then
So
I know some people doesn't want to think about a custom hat, or
yeah,
they don't even know how to do it. So that's why I
yeah,
have a few collections. So you go and then you just choose a hat. The last collection we made was, yeah, that's another thing. I really like vintage cars. So last collection
yeah.
was inspired on 8 different vintage cars. So
Epic.
yeah, that's why we have the collections for people who doesn't want a custom hat. But yeah, like
Yeah,
the main thing I do here, that's my favorite thing on WhyHats, is when I connect with different people to design their custom hat. I always try to do
yeah,
video calls, so it's much easier to understand who they are, yeah, what they like, the main hobbies or main jobs, and I
yeah,
think that's one of the things that people like to do. It's not just getting a hat; it's like getting an experience. Because honestly, some people, I found some people who there after we designed the hat, they don't care about the hat. They are just very happy because we talk each other and we design
yeah.
something unique. So
Together. Yeah,
that's yeah, man, that's so cool and that's beautiful.
yeah. You know what? It's. I kind of found that same scenario for myself. It's more than just the hat. You know, it's more being able to connect with somebody, especially when it's custom and it's personalized and it has some really significant meaning behind it. It ends up being more of a you end up becoming friends with these people because you're sharing stories, you're sharing difficult times, and they're collaborating with the idea sometimes together. You know, it's very. I find it to be one of the most rewarding things that I've ever experienced. And I used to work in hospitality,
Wow.
so I kind of worked with people a lot and know how to talk to people. But sometimes it's just listening to the other person and you know really downloading what they think in their mind of how this is going to turn out to be. They're the most special ones. Do you find the same?
It's crazy how many friends I made just
Yeah,
working on business. And it's crazy because after the years, when you, I don't know, like when you're in a bar hanging out and you're talking to different people, and there are some people where you connect and some people that you don't, that after 2 minutes talking, you don't want to talk anymore. And there are,
yeah,
and then there are few people who just talk for 2 hours and it's super good. So
yeah,
for me, it's the same. Sometimes I do some video calls, and it's like I'm like a little bit like I want to finish this because I'm
yeah,
not. You know what I mean.
yeah. You're not
So
connecting on it. You're not vibing. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Through the video call, how you can connect or how you can't. But
yeah,
yeah, like I did a lot of friends and a lot of business. Like I think last year's every trip I did to the US, it was because a client that
oh yeah,
now is a friend, but they are like, bro, you have to come here. We're gonna do an event where you're gonna be doing your hats. And dude, it's crazy.
epic.
Sometimes I think about it and it's like, dude,
Yeah. So it's the hat making world. I mean, you've been doing it. You say 6 years.
yeah.
So in the 6 years, I mean, can you look back and just say, "Fuck, how crazy! How much your world has opened up and traveling around and meeting new people and you know, like I mean."
I
Is
think
there?
about it. I think about it a lot because I think, man, when you are an artist or yeah, yeah, when you're an art, you have to be very thankful. And you, I'm a very like, I think a lot when I don't have something to do. I really like to sit and have a coffee or and just think um about me because that's the thing that I
Yeah.
think we lost on yeah, like I mean 20 years ago, when you went to the doctor and you were waiting for him, you didn't have your fucking phone on you, so you
Yeah.
were just thinking about, oh, what I told with that friend, or what I'm gonna do tomorrow,
Yeah.
or thinking about your problems and just um, yeah, processing them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm still doing that shit because I think it's very important. So yeah, as I told you, I'm always being super thankful about the evolution of the brand. And yeah, man, when I looked like a few years ago back, it's like, dude, I did thousands of things that I never
Yeah.
imagined I'll do them. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's surreal. Sometimes I think the same, man. It's like we all get heavily reliant on our phones, and we disconnect a lot of the time. And some of the most important things in your life are the things that happen right in front of you. So it's important to sort of have the ability to step back from that sometimes, and
True.
really sort of soak in and be aware of the things that are around you that can benefit your friends, opportunities. They're all there. They're all right there for you.
Yeah, just I think, man, the important thing here, I mean, it's just to make sure what's happening around you, and make
Yeah.
sure if you have problems, make sure you understand what problems you have. Because I see, bro, I see a lot of teenagers nowadays. They are like with depression and anxiety because they don't even know what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, dude, if I'm anxiety or I have depression, at least you have to know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah. Totally, man. It's important. It's
So
important to even to recognize that with other people too, right? So I think a lot of the time where we get in this space, I mean, you have a workshop there. Do you work with other people?
just with my wife.
Just you two in there making
Yeah,
hats,
like
both of you?
yeah. Because one of the things like some when I'm doing probably now like 50 or 60 hats a month, and sometimes I'm like crazy with
Wow.
yeah, and some of my friends tell me like, dude, why you don't work with other people? And it's like, man, you know, when someone are they contact me, they want me to do the hat. I'm designing the
Yeah.
hat, so I'm understanding perfectly what they want. So
Yeah.
I can tell that to another person. It's not gonna be the same. It will not be the
Yeah.
same. So what my wife do is they help me on some, like she does the packaging, mailing,
Yeah.
and stitching some of the things. But the main hat and the main elements, dude, I have to do that.
Yeah.
So that's
Man,
my
that's
yeah, for sure.
you're
I would
busy.
love to do a thousand hats a month, but that's not the kind of business I'm running.
I don't think that's what people gravitate towards. They want to know that you're the one who's making it, and especially if you're having the one-on-one connection with them, they want to know that you're the one who's doing the final touches and
Exactly.
those pieces together. I think that's the most important thing, because I get asked a lot, why don't you just hire somebody, and how do you can do way more. But I think it loses the authenticity of what that person has reached out to you for. It's really, that's the
Dude,
key.
I mean, I think when every artist they believe their everything they made have a soul, and that's true because you're making it so in some part you're putting your soul on it and your love on it. So that hat have an energy, and
Yeah.
if like if I have here like 100 people doing the hats, they will not have anything of that.
No,
It's
no,
like if
you're
you,
right.
I'm not Stetson or another brand. It's like it's a complete different business.
Totally. Totally. So, just talking quickly about your process, people reach out to you, they set up a time, you do a video call, you obviously make some notes down about what they want. Are they
Yeah.
taking a lot of inspiration from your previous hats that you've made in the past?
Yeah.
Do they come up with some crazy ideas themselves, and you're just like, "Yep, that's a good one. We're gonna
Yeah,
roll
we
with
have
that."
like three different clients. We have the client who doesn't know even what they're looking for.
Yep, yep,
But that's easy because I always say like, can you show me how you used to wear and all that stuff? So I'll design the hat with them. Then we have we have some clients who already love some of the ideas they are already made, so they are
yep,
sending me, and we create something unique from all the ideas. And then there are some clients who have crazy ideas and they just send it to me.
yeah,
Sometimes it's
yeah,
not possible because they sometimes they ask for crazy stuff.
yeah.
So it's like, we have those three different clients.
What's the craziest hat that stands out to you in your mind that you didn't think was possible that you made?
I mean, they're already made.
Yeah, or something that's on the cards. Is there something so crazy you're like, "Fucking no way"?
I mean, they asked me for crazy things like, they asked me to put like, one guy was asking me, his dog died like 1 year ago, and if he still have the bones of the dog. So he was like, if I send it to you, can I put can you put it on the head? I was like, dude, no, absolutely not. I'm not gonna put that shit on the head. They're like, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, there
that's
are some hats who are like, I enjoy doing them a lot. Like when someone asks you for a super tall hat with round shape, a lot of stitches. I mean, my thing is I love to distress shit. I love to burn
yeah,
shit, and
yeah,
that's the style I do. So if I always say to some people, like, if you're looking for a clean hat, I'm not your guy.
yeah,
I'm not your guy. Yeah, because that's my kind of work. Like dirty,
yeah.
distressed, and
Well,
burnt.
and you work with a lot of spray, like you paint it over the top of them
Yeah,
and
that's a
and sand
crazy
them
story
back.
because when I was working on when I started doing hats, and well, I started finding the right materials. Well, I didn't have a lot of money to get like a few felts and having them. So
Yeah,
every time someone was buying a hat, I had to buy the felt.
yeah, yeah,
So one time there was one guy who was like, dude, I need a green hat for the next week. And I was like, fuck, I don't have any green felt, but I had a white one. So I took a spray, and it's cool because those sprays are it's a Spanish brand called Montana. And those are the only ones who work for me because I tried different ones and they don't work.
yeah,
So yeah, I took a spray, a green one. I paint the head. I wait like 48 hours drying. Then I sand it. And when I sent it to the client, he was like, "What the fuck, dude? I love these." Because if you see
yeah,
every hat I made, like, I don't know, maybe I have something here. Like you see the blue one, for example,
yeah.
it's blue on a black hat, so it have shades of black and shades of blue.
Ah, cool.
So yeah, even if you're looking for a black hat, it will be solid color. But if you're looking
Yeah,
for a green or pink or whatever, it always will be like you will see the color under.
the original color. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so
So
that's
that was a complete by chance, just sort of experiment.
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
love
It
it.
was. I
I
was
love
like,
it.
I'm fucked up. I need to do a green hat, so let's improvise.
And you
Yeah, I've been.
fi- fi- fingers crossed that he likes it.
Yeah,
He could have
yeah.
hated
I mean,
it.
that's a. Now I'm gonna tell you a story about the logo of WhyHats. So I always had a lot of intuition, and I used to improvise a lot because that's when you're a guitar player. There are two kind of guitar player: the one who knows how to read the papers, or the ones who
Yeah,
know to how to improvise. So I'm the
yeah,
second one. So yeah, I believe a lot in my intuition. Like everything I did in my life was because of my intuition, and I really respect my intuition. So we create like a drawing. This one I have tattooed right here, which is the logo of
yeah,
WhyHats. So it's like an eye, with some
Yeah.
spikes. So for me, it's like the third eye. It's intuition. So my second name is Whylan, and when I created WhyHats, um, it was called the WhyHats. First of WhyHats was called WhyHats. That was the first name of the brand. So then I decided to take it out, take out the I and just leave it like WhyHats. So
Yeah.
yeah, the meaning of WhyHats will be like the hats of the intuition.
Yeah. Dude, I love it, man. That's I wish my logo had a little bit more of a story behind it. It doesn't have that much behind it. That's cool.
No, the truth is that I create the logo before the name.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So yeah, what else?
When you talking about your hat making process, you've got some of the tools, you've got a lot of stuff in the background. Did you collect a lot of hat blocks to
No,
get started? How did you find the right ones for you? And obviously the felt that you're pumping out 60 hats a month. How do you find working with your suppliers? Are they local? Are they overseas?
yeah, they are. There's not a Spanish supplier, so
No.
I'm buying felts from around the world. Honestly, like from
Yep.
the U.S., from Europe, from different business. As I
Yep.
told you, I only work with black and white. Then I paint them. I,
Yeah.
I don't use color felts, just black and white. And
Cool.
for the hat blocks, honestly, I don't have a lot of them because I don't need them. I just work with open crown hat blocks,
Yep.
and
Yep.
and then I do my own shape. That's all. So I got like
So,
all the sizes, but just in open crown.
yep. And do you have a process for when someone's from overseas? Do you send them a how to measure their head guide to make sure, or do you sort of get a gauge by looking at them through the video? How does that work for you? Making sure the size is right.
Yeah, I always say it's very, very important to get the correct size. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I tell them a lot of times, like, make sure you did it correctly. If there's someone who can help you doing that,
Yeah.
will be better. Yeah, because man, the sizes are crazy sometimes because people doesn't
Yeah.
know how to do it. So I think it's the most
Yeah. That's
important thing
the
on the head.
that definitely is the most important. And I was talking to Maya from Congo just last week, and she showed me that she had one of those conformature and a vermilion, one of those halo. You know, make sure that the hat is exactly right, perfectly. It's just an investment, but that only works really when they're in person.
Like, I
So
mean, I don't. There's a few people who come in here on to the workshop, but 95% of my sales are overseas, and probably
yeah,
from the total, 90% it's on the US. So that will be
yeah.
impossible.
Fantastic, man. That's awesome, man. That's really cool, man. Six years to build it up to that point, man. That's really awesome. Really, congratulations, bro. That's awesome.
Thanks, man. No, I'm in love, man. I'm so thankful and grateful about what I'm living right now, and I
Yeah,
find the space that I've been dreaming. So I don't know if you saw it, but we are trying to. If you saw this, there's like
yeah,
those church windows, like they call
yeah,
it stained glass.
yeah, yeah.
So we did one. This is my wife, and this is me. So our plan is to have all the wall full of them,
Awesome.
full of these windows. So yeah, I'm trying to play the. I call the White House Temple.
Was that an artist who made them for you?
Yeah, one of my best friends who draw
Awesome,
that
man.
shit, and it doesn't seem really big, but it's like 2 meters. They are huge. So yeah, our
Yeah, it
plan
looks
is
awesome.
to do a few more, like total, like 15 in total, like with some friends and some artists. I don't know.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
When you so in the last 6 years, you've met a lot of people, you've heard a lot of stories, you're building your brand, you're fucking busy. How do you find time for the collaborations that you've done in the past? were they organic sort of reach outs to you, or did you reach out to them? The one that I'm talking about is the AMG one. That was with the Mercedes.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy one. Um, yeah, man, it's just like when the collaboration is like they're really improvised. Because on
Yeah.
that time we had an event on Madrid for another collaboration that we did with one of my best friends who is a designer. So we did the event on a Mercedes shop, car shop, and those guys were like, "Fuck, dude, I love what you do. Why wouldn't do a collaboration?" So I was like, "Okay, will be cool to shoot a video if you can give me a car for the video." So they give me a Mercedes, an EMG, I don't know, like two 200,000 euros car, like a super sport car, and I was like, okay, so bro, we almost destroyed the car because we went to the an off-road place and we were driving crazy. So when we returned the car, it was super fucked up, like dirty. Yeah, crazy. So I think they're not gonna do a collaboration with me anymore. But
Maybe safe to say they're they'll stick to somebody else.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, we did that hat, which is fucking cool.
Do you find that you get reached out to by a lot of brands and try and look for an opportunity to cross over your audience, or do you find
Yeah.
that it's just for you? You want to stick to your brand, and I mean, you're already busy enough. You don't really need
It
much
just
crossover.
I'm not gonna do something that doesn't go with me. Like every shit I do is because it's a part of me, or if there's something that represents me. So I used to have for Mercedes. I used to have a vintage Mercedes, and I really like that brand. So that's what I did it.
Yeah,
But yeah, there are some people some brands who came to me talking about a collaboration. But dude, if I don't like your brand, it's my
yeah,
opinion. But if I don't like it, I'm not gonna do a collaboration with me because it have no sense.
yeah.
Like yeah, we did a few more. We are now working on a collaboration with a boot brand. So that's my style. I always wear boots, so that fits
Cowboy boots.
that fits with me. And
Yeah,
what is about to say? Fuck. No. Anyway,
make it has to make sense, right? So it has to make sure that your brand aligns with their brand, and if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. It's like respectfully,
no.
it's not gonna work. Yeah,
Yeah, and some brands are writing me about to make clean hats, like super minimal, clean white hats, and it's like, dude, did you fucking check my Instagram? Do you see what I'm making? So yeah, that's I don't like that
yeah,
shit when someone or even there are some famous people who write me on Instagram and it's like, dude, you don't even follow me, you don't know about my work, so it's like you're just trying to get something for free.
yeah, yeah.
You know, if
That's a
it's
very
if it's like the we made a hat for Tommy Lee, but he wrote us and he was like very respectful. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, I fucking love Motley Crue. I love Tommy Lee. So for sure, I'm gonna
yeah,
do this hat for free.
yeah,
You know, but because he was an interaction, he really show us the respect for the brand and the love for the brand. So it's like, for sure, I'm gonna do you one.
yeah, and it's authentic, and that's kind of where people want something for nothing now. They want to reach out. They think that they have followers. They think they have all this exposure, but
I don't care about
it doesn't.
followers and I don't care about who the
Nah.
fuck you are.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
man.
I'm.
Because that's the thing that I learned. Like if you're a good person and you have good energy, I don't care who you are. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna be kind to you. So that's all.
Yeah.
Some people think that because they're famous or they're like famous on Instagram,
Yeah.
they are like,
Yeah.
no, man.
Yeah. It's a funny space, man. I think there was a time a little while ago where that was important. Having influencers and you're sharing your brand and the crossover, and they get another exposure to their audience and stuff. But I think now where everything's going is that followers doesn't mean shit, and it's about being authentic and having things that people, because the crowd, the audience that are watching us, they can read through that shit straight away. So I think it's really important to sort of stick to what makes sense to you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You do a lot of reels and you do a lot of videos, and you always get such amazing engagement. Did you have a background in recording, or was that just all cowboy as well?
Me and my wife. Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's the thing that I love to do. Like when, because as I told you, I love music. So every time I record a reel, which takes me a lot of time, because every reel
Yeah,
you see probably it's made with 50 or 60 different videos.
yeah,
So it takes me three times more time to do the hat because you have to record
yeah,
everything. And then when I have to edit, I love that because I always try to synchronize every, if you see my videos, I'm
yeah,
always smashing shit on the table, and
yeah,
so I love to synchronize every bit of the song with the smashes and when I'm turning the hat on fire. I love to do that.
yeah, yeah.
I post
Did
just
you find?
one reel a week. I think it's
Yep.
enough because I don't have time to do
Yeah,
more.
it's time. Being able to find that time is just that's a full time job. It's really a full time job, and
It's more than a full time job because I start at morning, like at 9, and sometimes on 12, 12, yeah, on at night, I'm still doing some shit. If I'm not doing
yeah,
hats, I'm on the email or just recording some shit, yeah. But I love to
yeah,
do it. I mean, I'm not like,
yeah,
oh, fuck. No, I love to do it.
yeah.
So when you do something like that, it's not like your job.
I agree, man. I kind of feel because I had no idea about how to edit. I would never take photos. I would never do anything like that. My phone is now full of hats and all that sort of shit. But it was never like a going on holidays. Like I was never into taking photos.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
and
me
I
too.
find that it's another little skill to learn. And you're right. If you look at it from a different perspective and say, "Fuck, this is not a something that I hate, but something that I enjoy doing," then you can tell through the video.
Yeah,
It's
like
really
some friends who have like small brands or they're starting a brand is like, oh, dude, but I don't know how to do it. I don't like it. It's like, bro, that's a fucking excuse. I
yeah,
was not a
yeah,
social media guy. When I started the WhyHats and we created the Instagram, I was posting like one picture a month, and my wife told me like, we have to work on this shit. She's like, you can learn how to do it. It's not an excuse.
yeah,
I don't know how to do
yeah,
it. That's a fucking excuse. And
yeah,
people doesn't understand that social media for small business and artists is a huge opportunity. Like honestly, if Instagram is closing tomorrow, probably my yeah, the 80% of my sales will be done.
yeah. Wow, that's why it's important to cross over. Do you mostly use Instagram? Do you use TikTok as well, or do you find it's just you
I
stick to one?
created TikTok like 1 month ago just to create traffic from TikTok to Instagram,
Yep.
and that's the best I did. I mean, TikTok sucks. I hate TikTok. It's disgusting. You get there and it's full of shit. But yeah, I'm just posting the same reel I'm posting on Instagram. I post it, and bro, it's crazy how TikTok. I don't know how, because in 2 months I got like 50,000 followers, and each fucking TikTok have 1 million views, and I'm not doing a
Wow.
shit there. I'm just posting a reel every week. But that's a
Yeah.
good opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And with your style, do you find that you like to recycle that style of video that you do? I mean, it's all a lot of the smashing and the burning, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's very entertaining.
People call me on TikTok that guy who have a restaurant in Dubai. It's called the Salt Bai. Who put salt
No.
like this? He put salt on
Ah,
the meat like this.
yeah.
How, some people call me Salbai of hats, and it's great. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of hate in TikTok. Like, I don't
Oh,
know, but it's like 90% of the comments are like Justin Bieber or Johnny Depp, and it's like, fuck, man, I don't look like. It's funny. It's funny. I mean, yeah. Another thing that I learned from these years is like when there's a lot of haters on the social media,
yeah.
and you just have to make fun of that shit.
You have to. That's important, man. It's
Dude, some
especially
people get super angry, and it's like they don't even know you. They don't even know
yeah.
you. So just
I don't understand. Like, just relax, man. Like, fucking, we're making hats. Like, especially in the hat making world too. There's a group of people who very specific. They're very traditional, and they think that there has to be a certain way. And a lot of the negative comments that I get are kind of like not negative, but more so like critiquing you very sternly.
hate,
Like
just
it
hate.
has to be this way.
They just they just get it, trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
So I don't run the comments on Instagram. That's what my wife do. And yeah,
Yep.
it's like she always tell me like every time she saw a hate comment, they just drop a like. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Yeah. That's
even
it.
gonna reply you.
Yeah.
They
That's
just
it,
trying
man.
to get your attention. That's all. But yeah, man, it's full of them. It's crazy, but it's so funny. For me, it's super funny. 'Cause they create like a character on TikTok. They call me Johnny Bieber. Johnny Bieber.
Mate, that might work in your favor, like make a hat for Justin Bieber and Johnny Depp at the same time, who knows? Thanks. Bring it on.
What do you mean?
If they keep on commenting and tagging, maybe there's an opportunity for you to make one for those people, like the
We
more exposure, the better.
we already did it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing that I'm not gonna show it yet because I
Yeah.
need some pictures of Johnny. But yeah, we did one a few weeks ago,
Epic, man.
and honestly, that was my goal on WhyHats.
Yeah.
Like create a hat for Johnny.
Fuck.
It's a fucking dream.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah,
That's awesome. I love it. I can't wait to see that.
yeah, it's a cool one. It's a cool one with a sticker holder and a lot of stuff that he likes.
I can imagine. That's going to be pretty eclectic.
Yeah.
What do you think in the future, in the next 3 to 5 years or 3 to 6 years? I mean, you've been doing this for 6 years. What does the next segment of time look like for you and for WhyHats?
For sure, I'm moving to the US
Yep.
because that's where I'm doing a lot of business there,
Yeah.
and that's what I want to be. Like I love the US. That's the kind of lifestyle I like. I don't know if it's gonna be better forever, but for sure I'm gonna set up my workshop there and spend a few years there.
Awesome.
Or even if I can't do that, like gonna still here in Spain, but have also a workshop there and
Yep.
probably a shop.
Awesome. It makes total sense from my perspective. If you're doing those numbers and that volume, it makes sense for you to go and be there on the ground and
Yeah,
have access to more people, more opportunities, more connections.
for
That
sure,
makes total sense.
for sure,
And you save a lot of money on the shipping.
for sure. Yeah, man.
Fucking
Well, I
the
can
shipping is
imagine
crazy.
from Australia, it have to be super
It's
expensive, right?
Yeah, man, it's scary. Sometimes, I mean, the options are limited. Suppliers. I mean, if you find the right one, you have a good relationship with them. But I mean, it fluctuates so much that sometimes the shipping can be more than the hats themselves. The felt.
Fuck.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. So you have to incorporate that into your prices. I'm working with a big brand at the moment, and they want to do 60 hats, and that the shipping alone is just going to be incredible. So it's kind of like
Fuck.
you have to really make sure that you're getting the right suppliers, and plus things are limited with more hat makers coming around. It's harder and harder to get the materials.
Yeah, and everything is getting super expensive. I know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Fuck.
Man, How do people find you? Obviously, Instagram. You have a website.
Yeah, WhyHats.es.
Yep. Send you an email. Don't go to TikTok.
Don't go to TikTok, man. No, no.
Don't
For
go to
people who
TikTok.
are just trying to, just send me a DM on Instagram.
Yep. Yep. You're pretty responsive on there. So it's, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's how we
I
connected. And
respond to everyone, honestly. Even if they
yeah,
say "fuck you," I'm gonna say you thanks, man.
yeah. I love that. I love that. Mate, just to finish up, man, I appreciate the time. If there's, I asked this question to the other people that I've interviewed before, and it's kind of like if there was somebody who's starting, reaching out, who wants to get into the hat making game, or even if it's into like an art space, what would be the number one thing that you would say to them? What would be some advice that you would say
Um,
that can help them on their path?
buy the White Hats course. No, that's the thing, man. We have a course for people who want to start making hats on our website.
Oh yeah, okay. Tell me
Yeah,
what you got a course done. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
three
cool.
hours course where we explain everything you need to know to start making hats, like tools, materials, suppliers.
Ah, awesome,
Yeah, I
awesome.
create that. Just a quick thing. I create that because I saw a lot of people every time asking me about a lot of shit. So
Yeah,
every time you help somebody, they're gonna ask you for more stuff, and I don't have time to spend on helping you on how to run your own business.
yeah,
And for me, it was a long trip to get here. So I was like, I'm gonna create a course. It's gonna be this price. It's actually almost 600 euros. But
yeah,
honestly, it's a good price because it have everything. Like if I had that course when I started, absolutely,
yeah.
I'll buy it because you have everything that took me 6 years to learn.
Is it a one-on-one thing with you, or is it recorded,
It,
pre-recorded,
it's
all
re,
information?
it's recorded. It's like, yeah, three
Yeah,
hours of videos, and then you
yeah,
have like a lot of documents on info. But yeah,
awesome.
as you were asking, a thing for somebody who's starting, just same as I did, like get obsessed with your doing, and have some perseverance on what you're
Yeah,
doing. That's the fucking secret of every art. Like even if you're learning how to play the guitar, you just have to get obsessed on that shit, and
yeah,
every day. Because yeah, some people who got the course, then they are just 1 week they are getting some materials, they trying this, but they don't get obsessed on what they're doing. So that's the secret.
yeah.
Time makes you
That makes
makes
it.
you makes what you're doing better and better and makes you better.
Yeah, find that purpose and stick to it. Because it's fucking hard. It's hard too, man. It's really hard to find the thing that you're interested in the first place. But it's hard to get through and just keep pushing and pushing, pushing. That's the secret. Just keep it moving.
It's like people who are like, people who want to get healthy. So bro, you have to go to the gym like 4 days a week.
Yeah, hard
It's
work.
it's the same. It's the same as I told you. When I remember when I was a kid and I started learning to play guitar, I get obsessed on playing guitar, and that's how I learn.
Yeah,
It can take you 1 year, 2 years, or 20 years. It just depends on on the time you spend on that. That's all.
I love it, man. I love it. Oh man, on that note, it's really awesome to chat to you, man. I've been wanting to chat to you for such a long time, and it's really awesome to be able to get some insight into your world, and
Absolutely.
and and especially and to see you do so well, man. It's inspiring because like I haven't been doing it as long as you have, but 6 years is not a long time, and it's just through a lot of hard work and trying new things and experimenting. It's inspirational, man. So I really appreciate the time today, brother.
Absolutely, man. I love this podcast. I think it's a super good idea what you created
Yeah.
here. So very thankful to be here, man.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Jack because he started it. He just handed me the key. So if uh, if I can keep on just building that community of people and sharing their knowledge and sharing their experiences, then I think we all win at the end of the day.
Super cool.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
brother. Well, man, I'll let you get back to waking up and have your second coffee of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I need it.
and man, I'd love to connect again with you sometime soon.
Thank you, man. Have a great day.
All right, brother.
Bye bye.
You too. See ya. Bye bye.